What's up everyone, Allan Morrow here and welcome to this next tutorial. Today I want to show you a little scenario that you sort of might find yourself in when it comes to your rolling trance basses. Now, I've got a bass here. I've just picked one of my ones from the Silent bass bank. This is the volume 1. If you want to check that out, you can do that on the website. And basically what I've done here is I've got this sort of pattern and I like this bass sound. So nice sort of typical rolling bass line. But these sort of higher octave notes are sort of cheapening the sort of bass sound a little bit for the key that I've got it on. Now, it might sound a little better further down, but let's say, for example, this is what's happening in your bass sound. So what I want to be able to do is try and create this bass with a bit more of a professional sort of cohesive sort of sound. So how can I sort of combat bringing these down? I obviously can't come and do this because it's then going to be too low. So bring them back up. Next option, I can't come over here and change the octave of an oscillator, because if I change that octave down, it's going to bring all the MIDI down for that oscillator. So what can I do to sort of create that sort of sense of this higher note being an octave down without bringing everything down? So I'm just going to duplicate this channel. I'm going to do it twice. And I'm going to bring this over here. And I'm going to do this as well. So I've left this first one back here just to sort of, so we can hear how the original one sounds to how the new and improved sort of sound is going to sound. So if I just come over here now, I've got this bass and this top one here, I'm going to take away the bottom notes. So I'm just going to mute them for a second. And in this bottom one, I'm going to take away the top notes. So you can hear there, if I just play that, these top notes, really sort of high, a little bit cheap. So I'm just going to mute them. So if I play this through, these are basically playing the same as this one here. So now that I've split these bass sounds, what I can now do is come to this top one, and I can now come into this bass and have a lot more control over what happens with this top bass. I could, for example, go in and turn the cutoff down, but that's not what I want to do, but that is an option. You can do that. But what I can now do is I can come in and bring this oscillator an octave down. And then this is then only going to bring the octave of this oscillator down on these top notes. So if I play this bass for you now, this is going to sound a lot more cohesive and a lot more professional to my ears anyway. But see what you think. So if you try and imagine that with the kick and sub as well, it's going to sound a lot better in terms of, it just sounds a lot more cohesive, a lot more professional, I think anyway. But yeah, as I say, you might want these sort of top notes playing that high up, but this is just sort of a situation that I've been in before where I've thought, those top notes are a little bit too high up. So now that I've split this channel, I could go in again if I wanted and go even further. I could go into one of these other oscillators and change one of these octaves down or up. When you split it like this, you just have a lot more control. Just be aware though, if your original bass sound, this one for example, it was only made up from one oscillator, you could not obviously do this, because then the second you bring the second you duplicate the channel and bring the octave down, it's just going to be bringing the whole MIDI down again. So it doesn't really work unless you've got more than one oscillator in place to make up the bass. So yeah, if I could now come in, go to part B and bring that one down as well. Was that on -2 anyway? Yep. I could bring it down even more if I wanted, or I could bring it up, but again that would just be discounting this first change. So you have a lot more control then over that sort of that top bass. So I hope this might have helped you if you are in that sort of scenario and you feel that the top bass notes sound a little bit cheap and you want to make them sound a little bit more cohesive and professional. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification and like button. I do really want to sort of grow this channel, so I do appreciate anyone that helps by doing that. Share with your friends, whatever it is that you can do to sort of help keep these videos coming. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.